And so now we have two people come out saying that Diddy was talking to the feds. Do you think that's true?
Puff was a millionaire. Him being a confidential informant, him getting money like that, it was favors. He been getting favors and been paying law enforcement people for years.
Puff Daddy, whoever, none of these, all you fake hard. Hold on. Okay. All you fake hard. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a because you can't shoot nobody anyway, and the reason why you got talk is because you did a deal, you fed.
Diddy is now in running for his life as some incredibly dangerous people are finding out about him being a federal informant, a snitch, who is going to expose some very incriminating stuff on them in exchange for his own freedom. It's either that or he goes to prison, and Gene Deal has already said Diddy isn't capable of surviving life behind bars.
I don't think that he could see himself in a cage. I don't think he could see himself behind those bars.
Whether it's true or not, and he might have been cooperative in some way, shape, or form, you don't get away with unless you give up John Gotti or something like that, and that's not what happened here.
For example, Suge Knight has also claimed that Diddy has always been a Fed. Could this have helped him get away with potentially K-ing Tupac?
Personally, being an FBI informant forever, as they would say. That's why it's different when it comes to him.
There are several who also claim that the bad boy curse was actually not just a coincidence.
People dealing with Puffy and turning religious.
Well, I mean,
or dying.
There's a thing called the bad boy curse.
I think that's what it is.
Could Diddy have been behind all the oppression and exploitation going on at Bad Boy Records? Let's take a closer look. In the podcast, Suge Knight didn't hold back, claiming that everyone in Diddy's circle was well aware of his supposed informant status. Knight bluntly stated, "Naturally, Puffy's been an FBI informant forever, as they would say. That's why it's different when it comes to him." He went on to add, everybody in his crew knew about it. The women he dates knew about it. Everybody knew about it. So don't try to distance yourself now. Those are some heavy accusations. So why isn't Diddy in jail? Diddy's been under serious scrutiny lately, with federal agents raiding his homes in Florida and California as part of ongoing investigations. These raids, sources close to Diddy say, are part of a broader effort to dig into the music mogul's activities. Despite all this, Diddy hasn't been arrested or charged with anything yet. But according to Suge Knight, Diddy's legal troubles are far from over. Knight ominously warned that the secrets Diddy holds put his life in danger, saying, "He is destined for prison just like me." And that may well be the case considering how Sean Combs' life and lies have unraveled over the last 2 years. When Sean Diddy Combs took the stage at the BET Awards in June 2022 to accept the Lifetime Achievement Award, he was ecstatic. Yeah, he shouted, jumping in triumph as the crowd roared with a standing ovation. Among the audience were his mother, his children, close friends, and industry icons like Kanye West, Janelle Monáe, Babyface, and Lil Wayne. After 3 decades of relentless hustle, from an ambitious intern to an A&R executive, producer, label boss, fashion designer, and household name, Diddy seemed to have reached the pinnacle of his career. With eyes closed, he thanked God repeatedly. He knelt to praise his mother and gave shout-outs to those who mentored and inspired him along the way. "Anything I do is through love," Diddy declared early in his 9-minute speech. "That's what I evolved to be, and that's what I'm doing right now." But then, his tone shifted. "I was in a dark place for a few years," he confessed. "I gotta give a special thank you to the people who were really there for me." He listed friends and advisors. Then, staring directly into the camera, he added, "Cassie, for holding me down in the dark times. Love." He raised his hand to form an L and held his gaze, silently, for several seconds. Diddy and Cassie Ventura, a former singer on his Bad Boy label, had split 4 years earlier, but Diddy had never stopped pining for her. He posted photos of her online and urged her to listen to Michael Jackson's "The Lady in My Life." He even publicly congratulated her on her first pregnancy with her husband. His comments at the BET Awards were part of a pattern of behavior that had been tormenting Ventura for years. When she heard his latest remarks, sources say Ventura was distressed but resolute. Fast forward almost 18 months to November 2023, and Ventura filed a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of holding her in a violent form of servitude throughout their relationship and her after their final breakup in 2018. She referenced Diddy's BET speech in her filing. For Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped by Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and ST. She recounted brutal beatings that left her with bruises, burst lips, black eyes, and deep emotional scars. One of these beatings was even caught on hotel surveillance video, which CNN obtained in May. For Grammy-winning songwriter Tiffany Red, a close friend of Ventura's who worked with her during the height of the alleged abuse, Diddy's words from the BET stage felt like a taunt. "It's like harassment," she explained. "You're still messing with her. Leave her alone. Leave her the hell alone." In the 5 years following her breakup with Diddy, Ventura stayed silent. While Diddy was posting about her pregnancy in 2019, she was in distress behind the scenes to escape her bad boy contract, according to Red. Despite signing a 10-album deal in 2006, Bad Boy only released one studio album by Ventura. Allegedly, Diddy tried to tie her separation agreement to a non-disparagement clause. "It wasn't just her record label we were with," Red said. "We were with her abuser." At one point, Cassie Ventura checked herself into a rehab center to deal with the physical and psychological repercussions of her time with Sean Combs, according to her lawsuit. Finding new purpose as a mom, she eventually gathered her strength and stepped forward, sparking a wave of other lawsuits.
You know, Cassie was telling lies, Gene been telling lies, Lil Rob been telling lies, everybody lying on Diddy. But Diddy told the truth.
Since then, 5 more women have accused Combs of or violent SA, with allegations dating back to 1990. 2 of these women claim Combs secretly recorded their encounters and showed the footage to others without their consent. Even music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones sued, alleging Combs him and forced him to solicit S workers and perform S acts to the Mr. Combs. While Combs eventually admitted to the AA caught on surveillance video, he has strongly denied all other accusations. The day Ventura filed her lawsuit, Combs blasted it as a shakedown full of outrageous lies. His lawyer, Ben Braffman, claimed, "For the past 6 months, Mr. Combs has been subjected to Miss Ventura's persistent demand of $30 million under the of writing a damaging book about their relationship, which was unequivocally rejected as blatant." Ventura's lawyer, Douglas Wigdor, fired back, saying Combs had offered Miss Ventura 8 figures to silence her and prevent the filing of this lawsuit. Within 24 hours of Ventura's filing, the parties reached an undisclosed settlement. When his 4th accuser came forward in December, Combs, now 54, issued another passionate denial. "Enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation, and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth." For many, the shocking allegations against Combs were hard to reconcile with his image as a larger-than-life figure who threw legendary parties from New York City to the Hamptons to Hollywood. He's the pop culture staple who strolled under a parasol held by his valet Farnsworth Bentley in Saint-Tropez and turned heads at the Met Gala in a Swarovski crystal-encrusted tuxedo and floor-length cape. He rapped about Bentleys and Benjamins and hosted over-the-top white parties attended by the likes of Leonardo DiCaprio, Beyoncé, Mariah Carey, and Martha Stewart. Diddy once called himself the Great Gatsby and saw circus showman P.T. Barnum as his muse. But now, the spotlight Combs always craved is focused on his alleged crimes. In scenes that highlighted his fall from grace, heavily armed Homeland Security agents stormed his sprawling Los Angeles and Miami estates on March 25th as part of a federal IST investigation.
Breaking news, the Department of Homeland Security has just confirmed to CNN that federal law enforcement agents have raided properties owned by musician and producer Sean Diddy Combs.
They tore through his offices and bedrooms, leaving cables dangling from a command center and multiple safes wide open. 3 gleaming Grammys and an Oscar sat atop a gutted console like relics of a crumbling empire. A dejected Combs was later spotted alone, cell phone in hand, slowly pacing around Miami Opa-locka Airport. His vacation in the Bahamas was canceled, his once fortified homes breached, his adult sons handcuffed, and his empire on the brink of collapse. While the raids made global headlines, the silence from Combs' famous friends was deafening. This time felt different. No checkbook, high-powered attorney, or media blitz could easily smooth over these scrapes with the law. His charisma, influence, and connections seemed insufficient to shake off these allegations. Reparations is getting closer and closer, former Bad Boy artist Mace said the day after the raids. The big payback. Over the past year, dozens of interviews with Combs' former friends, acquaintances, employees, Bad Boy artists, and industry insiders have revealed shocking details. Out of more than 300 people contacted for this investigation, over 50 were willing to share their experiences. Some spoke only off the record, fearing retribution, while others requested payment for their stories. Many declined to participate, eager to distance themselves from Combs. "I'm trying to leave that part of my life behind me," said one former employee. Those who spoke about Combs paint a picture of a man with two very different sides. On the surface, they see a tastemaker who's unapologetically driven, generous, and often jovial, even silly at times. Privately, he can be the same. But those who got close enough uncovered something much darker behind the facade. A menacing figure who craves acceptance and admiration, such as his desire to be like Tupac.
He took his image. Pac was the first one on the scene wearing Versace shirts. He went and got the same Versace shirts Pac had.
Public displays of devotion, grand donations, and his self-proclaimed title of Brother Love may have been attempts to mask an alleged undercurrent of abuse and violence, some claims even stretching back to before his career took off. Sources say Combs used his growing power to bend people to his will. He allegedly sent staffers to win back Jennifer Lopez, beat a label executive bloody after he became romantically involved with Combs' ex-partner Kim Porter, and tried to solicit access from a woman on his payroll. In the course of this investigation, Rolling Stone sent Combs a detailed list of questions regarding these new and ongoing allegations. He chose not to specifically address any of them. Mr. Combs cannot comment on settled litigation, will not comment on pending litigation, and cannot address every allegation picked up by the press from any source, no matter how unreliable. His lawyer Jonathan Davis told Rolling Stone, "We are aware that the proper authorities are conducting a thorough investigation and therefore have confidence any important issues will be addressed in the proper forum, where the rules distinguish facts from fiction." Joy Dickerson-Neal, who is suing Combs for SA, told Rolling Stone that her decision to come forward isn't about money. It's about making sure the world sees that this man, who rose to the level of Anacon, is actually sick and has left so many victims in the wake of his unpunished, disgusting behavior for years. For Cassie Ventura, Combs presented himself as a flashy, established 37-year-old label boss when he pulled her into a bathroom and forcibly kissed her on her 21st birthday in 2007, leaving her in tears, according to her complaint. She says that Combs, who held the keys to her music career, pressured her to take and have S that same year. Combs quickly became deeply entrenched in every aspect of her life, paying for her apartment, having her medical records sent directly to him, and lashing out over perceived slights, according to the lawsuit. When Ventura tried to move on and had a brief relationship with musician Kid Cudi in 2011, Combs allegedly beat her. He later told Ventura he planned to blow up the rapper's car in his driveway. In a statement to the New York Times in November, Cudi confirmed that his car did indeed explode, saying, "This is all true." In her suit, Ventura says she learned to blindly submit to Combs to avoid vicious beatings. The lawsuit claims the abuse escalated to ST, with Combs ordering her to cover herself in oil, get high and drunk, and have intercourse with male S-workers while he pleasured himself and filmed the encounters, which he called freak-offs. Ventura says she learned to disassociate during these horrific encounters. The public got a disturbing glimpse into Combs' treatment of Ventura through surveillance video unearthed by CNN. In the footage, a towel-clad Combs is seen pursuing a barefoot and fleeing Ventura after allegedly punching her in the face during a freak-off at a Los Angeles hotel in 2016.
Combs assaulting then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hallway.
At an elevator bank, Combs throws Ventura to the floor, kicks her, stomps on her, and tries to drag her back to the room before grabbing what appears to be a vase and hurling it in her direction. Ventura describes this incident in her lawsuit and alleges that Combs paid the hotel $50,000 to obtain the footage. After years of silence and darkness, I'm finally ready to tell my story and speak up, not just for myself, but for other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships. Ventura said in a statement alongside her lawsuit, "This is my chance to confront the trauma I've endured and that I'll be recovering from for the rest of my life." As Ventura's explosive allegations were about to go public, Combs was already plotting his next moves. According to Jones, who produced several tracks on Combs' Grammy-nominated 2023 album, The Love Album, Off the Grid, Combs detailed how he planned to use his relationship with celebrity pastor Bishop T.D. Jakes to soften the blow to his public image. Jones wrote about this in a sworn declaration in April. On the public front, Combs seemed to go into overdrive, churning out positive press. He fulfilled his $1 million pledges to his alma mater, Howard University, and Jackson State University's football program. He also launched Empower Global, an e-commerce platform for Black entrepreneurs. As he dropped his new album, proclaiming himself in his love era, he announced that he was returning publishing rights to bad boy artists and songwriters. However, some artists say they were never offered their rights back. And Danity Kane's Aubrey O'Day revealed she refused the offer because it came with a mandatory non-disclosure agreement. A year before her breakup with Combs, Ventura had conceptualized a short film titled Cassie, which now seems eerily telling. In a voiceover about the fictional romance in the film, she asks, "How do you just walk away from it and escape it? I just want to be free." The release of hotel security footage prompted shocked reactions worldwide. Forced to address his actions, Combs made a rare admission of guilt, though he focused solely on that incident.
I was up. I hit but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility.
He claimed he went to therapy and rehab and was truly sorry. Ventura's lawyers dismissed Combs' apology as a sign of his pathetic desperation. Many who saw the footage were stunned, including those who had known Combs for years. LaJoyce Brookshire, former publicity director for Arista and Bad Boy, was disturbed to discover that these types of actions could have occurred, and that Puffy could stand in my face the next day with a straight face. That shakes me to my core. Yet several women who attended Howard University with Combs had seen glimpses of his controlling and abusive tendencies decades ago. Combs started at the prestigious college in the fall of 1987 and quickly earned a reputation for throwing legendary wild parties. He was flamboyant and loud, often seen cruising around campus in his convertible, passing out flyers. Although he left after his sophomore year, Combs turned Howard into a pipeline for his enterprises, teaming up with future label execs and producers like Harve Pierre, Mark Pitts, and Derek D. Angeletti, all of whom played key roles in Bad Boy's early success. Shantae Page, a former A&R executive for Universal Motown Record Group, was among those who had positive experiences with Combs at Howard, describing his iconic parties as a once-in-a-lifetime type of vibe. From the start, she says he was a go-getter, always in the know. But other women described previously unreported incidents involving unwanted touching and fits of rage. One woman says she kept as far away as possible after Combs unexpectedly caressed her back and asked if she would be willing to meet one of his friends. Another former student recalled Combs flying off the handle after she objected to him cutting in line at the cafeteria. These moments, though seemingly small, hinted at the danger that would later explode. A third former student remembered how Combs would tap on the window of an English class to get his girlfriend to ditch. The visit soon became unwelcome, according to a classmate who sat next to the woman. She would tense up when Combs appeared, the student recalled. He just had a weird control thing. I felt like she was fearful. The classmate, who requested anonymity due to fear of retribution, says her concerns were validated when Combs appeared outside the school's Harriet Tubman quadrangle dorm and began screaming belligerently for his girlfriend to come outside. The classmate remembers other women running through the halls, knocking on doors in a panic, warning that Combs, known then as Puff, was attacking the young woman outside. "Puff is out here acting crazy. He's beating her," the fellow students reportedly said, according to the classmate. "He screamed and hollered and acted like a fool until she came downstairs." Another Howard student who witnessed the alleged attack told Rolling Stone. The student, speaking anonymously due to the sensitive nature of the incident, said Combs used what appeared to be a belt to strike the young woman all over the place. place. Combs was super angry and screaming at the top of his lungs, the witness said. He whooped her like really whooped her. The witness said the woman was clearly terrified. She was trying to defend herself a little bit. She was crying, and we were telling him, get off of her. We were screaming for her. A third source also recalled the alleged A. Lately, things might have seemed quiet for Diddy, the founder of Bad Boy Records, but behind the scenes, the feds were quietly building their case. TMZ reports that prosecutors from the Southern District of New York are digging into Diddy's past, including his alleged relationship with Daphne Joy and a Miami hotel. Just last week, Diddy's legal team made a move to dismiss a lawsuit filed by Rodney Lil Rod Jones, who accused Diddy of and ST. They dismissed the claims, which also mentioned Daphne, as blatant falsehoods and tall tales. But the feds are taking a much deeper dive than the few months Jones spent working with Diddy on his latest album. The recent subpoena is far-reaching, asking for nearly 30 years of records from the luxury Miami hotel regarding Diddy, Daphne, and his other associates. Investigators are seeking details like check-in and check-out dates, room numbers, guest preferences, billing information, and even room service orders since January 1st, 2008. And that's just scratching the surface. They're also after IDs, vehicle details, email and mailing addresses, phone numbers, computer IP addresses, payment records, and surveillance footage. The investigation seems thorough, to say the least. Earlier this year, Homeland Security conducted raids on Diddy's homes in Miami and Los Angeles. They interviewed 3 women and a man, with plans to speak to 3 more about allegations of ST, SA, and the distribution of illegal firearms. During the raids, agents searched for records similar to those demanded in the latest subpoena: photos, emails, texts, itineraries, names, and specific communications, according to reports from the New York Post. Amid all this, Diddy's attorney Jonathan Davis released a statement to TMZ, firmly denying the allegations and maintaining Diddy's innocence. No matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never SA or ST anyone. We live in a world where anyone can file a lawsuit for any reason and without any proof. Fortunately, a fair and impartial judiciary process exists to find the truth, and Mr. Combs is confident he will prevail against these and other baseless claims in court, Davis said. Daphne Joy also recently spoke out, denying claims that she was a S worker for Diddy, despite relentless trolling from his rival and her ex, 50 Cent. However, her representatives declined to comment on the subpoena when approached by TMZ. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.